Wow, isn't this nice? Getting to sit here together, no banter, watching Netflix. Sure, whatever. Although, I don't think I really agreed to this. Ooh, stop here. You wanna watch Dandadan? Yeah, I heard it's good, and you know what? You'll love this. I heard the editor of the manga said that he had the author read 100 shoujo series before he could write it. Wow, really? It's so cool. I could do that in my sleep. So you'll probably like it. And how many shoujo have you read or watched? Maybe like 5. That's what I thought. So, you know what? I have an ultimatum for you. If you want to engage in Dandadan, you'll first have to read my 100 favorite shoujo series. You've read 100 romance series? 100 shoujo, yes. And I have to read all of these 100 shoujo series before I can even watch Dandadan? Pretty much. So what you're saying is we can make out? What? Ew, first of all. And second of all, I'm fucking married. Oh well, I tried. This year, the anime adaptation of Dandadan was released to high praise from critics and fans alike for its wacky animation and great characterization. Before it came to Netflix, though, fans were treated to a 3-episode theatrical debut that was accompanied by a pre-show interview with the editor of the manga series, Shihei Lin. In it, he talks about Dandadan, how it came to be, and how the author, Yukinobu Tatsu, had a lot of failure before he had success. Particularly, Lin had Tatsu read 100 shoujo manga series so he could better understand how to write emotions and romance for the manga series that would eventually become Dandadan. This quote by Lin has now circulated constantly on social media, review sites, and any other place you could find. As a shoujo connoisseur, you would think a statement like this would have me singing its praises. But alas, I am ever the pessimist. Ever since my friend the Omnibus Collector saw the Dandadan premiere in theaters and told me about this interview, I had always found that it rubbed me the wrong way. Much like how the Berserk was inspired by shoujo factoid always rubs me the wrong way too. I never quite put my finger on why this is though, until I kept seeing posts about how Tatsu read 100 shoujo manga series all over Twitter. It's not that I have any beef with the author, it's that the reaction to these facts are often to praise the author for even reading shoujo, but never actually praising the demographic that is often mislabeled and forgotten. In these offhand quotes, shoujo is often faceless and nameless. It's an entity that is pointed to. The people who reiterate these quotes from the authors never say which shoujo were read, if any were even named, just that shoujo were read. It makes it seem as though these shoujo series are just a stepping stone for these male authors to go on and make successful manga that make them millions of dollars, while the women and non-binary authors who create them are still left with little acclaim. They're still looked down on because the works they create are for girls and women and make pennies comparatively. Using shoujo as a prop for men to catapult off of while invalidating its existence as a whole is nothing new to the industry, however. From men using it as practice before going into shonen in the 60s, to editors seeing shoujo magazines as stepping stones for a career trajectory. Shoujo is still just as underappreciated from its peers as ever. Male editors haven't read shoujo before getting placed into shoujo magazines, anime producers don't read them enough to pick them up for anime productions, and companies are trying to erase this historically prevalent demo more and more. Not to mention, these quotes end up conflating shoujo with romance. This isn't always the author or editor's fault, of course. The quote itself ends up getting so skewed that you don't even know if the person said shoujo or romance in the original interview. While my friend who saw Dandadan in theaters told told me that the interview said 100 shoujo, other places online have also said he said 100 romance. Some people are even saying that Lin said 100 shoujo romance. Any article that I could find on this interview before writing this video would fluctuate anywhere from using the word shoujo, the word romance, or just entirely conflating the two together. The only way you could know the actual context is if you saw this interview when you went to go see Dandadan in theaters. This is where I find my distaste has come from on this subject. You may call me the friend that's too woke, but sorry, whenever you see these patterns of behavior, you can't force yourself to unsee it. Where shoujo, feminine media, and women are concerned, they are always the accessory and never the prize. I would never say that it's a bad thing that these authors are trying to learn from the 99% of women who make up the shoujo demographic. In fact, yeah, they should all learn how to write and care about the female characters they're creating. But when they consistently overshadow these women mangaka, relegating them to a nameless mass, it becomes less worthy of a pat on the back and more of a bare minimum requirement. You can try to claim that shoujo isn't needed anymore and shouldn't exist, or that sexism isn't real. But the numbers don't lie. Male editors still make up a large majority of shoujo magazines, even though the same could not be said about shonen magazines. Shoujo manga has been getting less and less anime adaptations on the whole since the 90s, and companies are caring less about their shoujo series and pushing them for advertising, which leads to less sales. People will hand wave it away, saying, oh, it's because the demographics are blending more. But how can that even be the case when shoujo is barely even registering on manga fans' radars nowadays? Demographics are not blending any more than they used to. You are just not reading shoujo anymore. So you know what? No more being complicit. Start doing your homework like Tatsu and Miura before you. Start learning from your goats. You must now read these 100 shoujo before you pick up your next Shonen Jump title, goddammit. Roll the tape. Teenagers getting secondhand PTSD and psychic powers from space wars in their past lives. Teenagers getting secondhand PTSD and psychic powers from the brutality of women in their past lives. She doesn't even need a tagline. You know her already. The most fashionable magical girl series you'll ever find. Card captors, a mystic adventure. Card captors, a quest for all time. Each card possesses a power of its own. We got to find them to bring the power home. The next winner of the Tumblr Sexy Man Twitter poll. Magical girls getting isekai'd into a JRPG, but they can only get the bad ending. Poor homeless girl finds herself living in a shrine with gods. Poor homeless girl finds herself living in a house of animorphs. Poor homeless girl finds herself living in a castle with everyone wanting to kill her. Poor girl with a home this time finds herself receiving acting training by a creepy lady who stalks her. As Marie Antoinette once said, let them eat pussy. Rosa Versailles, but if they actually ate pussy. Rosa Versailles, but they revolutionized the whole world and not just France. Somehow, both extremely progressive and extremely conservative. What happens in boarding schools stays in boarding schools. Trans rights are human rights. Be gay, do crimes. A genuinely touching look at being gay in New York during the AIDS crisis. Life is hard when you have both the daddy issues and mommy issues. Be gay, do crimes too, Electric Boogaloo. If you're gay, and I'm a vampire, then who's flying the plane? Gender euphoria is truly shaving your head to avenge your family. Falling in love with the guy who killed my twin brother, beheaded my dad, and burned down my village on accident. Short-haired tomboy forced to play basketball. The Colleen's Manga story. This better not awaken something in me. The Colleen's Manga story. You ever pretend to be a boy so you can make your crush have a gay panic? You ever look like a boy and make your soon-to-be crush have a gay panic? Getting isekai'd into ancient Anatolia, where everyone is white for some reason. Getting isekai'd into a book, where everyone thinks you're God for some reason. Getting isekai'd by a bomb into a world where you don't know the language. Instead of getting isekai'd, the isekai comes to you. Not reading this means you haven't seen the triumphs and defeat, the epic highs and lows of women's volleyball. Challengers, but instead of tennis, they play a niche Japanese poetry card game. Actually, just challengers, but reverse the genders. Deos wishes he was Kyoko Ariyoshi. He was a politician's son. She was a gyaru. Can I make it any more obvious? Probably the horniest manga you'll ever read. A fanfic author meets her fanon boyfriend. Shoujo manga ruining your expectations of love one series at a time. Tall girl if it's laid. The one shoujo that boys will actually watch and say it's good. This is what everyone wishes their high school life was like. Please, just read past volume 1, it is so cute, I swear. Also, she is Sawako's spiritual sibling. How often can you cry over a young boy being hassled by ghosts? The answer will surprise you. The most accurate portrayal of siblings in any media ever. This may or may not make you want to be a parent. Shinzo Abe approves. Girl with red hair cuts it off to escape a coup and the assassination of her father. Girl with red hair cuts it off to escape entrapment and becoming a concubine. Girl with red hair gets it cut off after being married to an evil man from another country. YouTuber with red hair cuts it all off to tell you today's sponsor is Walt's Comic Shop. Are you one of these 3 things? A. Looking for shoujo. B. Wanting English language manga in the EU. C. Watching this current video. Then Walt's Comic Shop has your back. They have thousands of manga currently in stock with an inventory that's growing daily. Waltz offers low shipping prices for any EU country with bulletproof packaging and speedy customer support. When you enter the code Colleen's Mangarex at checkout, you'll get free shipping on your first order of 40 euros. You can get one of these amazing shoujo series to start off your collection at waltzcomicshop.com. Now let's get back into those 100 shoujo recommendations. Before My Hero Academia, there was Gaku and Alice.
I slept in this morning, that's not unusual. Made it to school, which has become so brutal. All because Akito the monster, my nemesis, put him in a lab, his brain needs analysis.
The furry convention just got one new attendee. A Cinderella story with K-drama level bullying. Twilight if there was more incest. Twilight fan fiction, so basically 50 Shades of Grey. It's got the abuse, too.
Talented, brilliant, incredible, amazing, show-stopping, spectacular, never the same, totally unique, completely not ever been done before, unafraid to reference or not reference, put it in a blender, shit on it, vomit on it, eat it, give birth to it.
It's a clamp manga, so it's incredibly gay, and a lot of people die. A look at the future of American public libraries. Probably the only shoujo you'll find on a Bronin's favorite list. Twisted Sister Sister, teenager versus wild, without Bear Grylls. The manga that unironically changed my life as a preteen. Juno without a creepy Jason Bateman character. The delinquent ex-good girl love story to end them all. Please, just ignore the age gap in this one. The story is really interesting, unique, I swear. Every idol fan's dream, or their literal nightmare. The not-quite life of a teenage robot.
Dubious little creature getting up to mischief. This is no good.
The story of boy likes girl, but girl likes other boy, and boy ends up liking boy instead. Hating someone so much, you accidentally find your passion in life. Oshi no Ko if it's laid. And was also good. The lasting legacy of Rose of Versailles persists. Real eyes, realize, real lies. The main character went to the Razao School of Ninja Training. Who run the shogunate? Girls.
Chill out. I'm making a spectacle? That's right, I am a spectacle. Everything you see on these pages is all true.
I've had an earnest desire to make love to my real sister.
Game of Thrones has met its match. In the Shinigami justice system, dead people are considered especially heinous. In Kyushu, the dedicated summons section who investigates these soon-to-be-goners are members of an elite squad known as the Guardians of Death. These are their stories. I just hate when Satan falls in love with you and kills everyone you meet. Boys can be magical girls too. Before Kaguya-sama, there was Last Game. Let women be misandrous.
Be who you are.
Magical powers called curses causes prejudice. Magical creatures called unhumans causes prejudice. Magical creatures called Ajin causes prejudice. Shoujo loves destroying class systems.
I am a surgeon! I am a surgeon!
Not even in the afterlife can a doctor beat the workaholic allegations. Around the world in 80 days. Empathy and love always wins. Chapel Roan should be allowed to kill one man, Tomie style. One of those rom-coms in the 2000s that would have a large cast of characters where all of their lives intertwine and you just happen to catch it on TV. When two hot people come together to maximize their joint slay. I've got a fever, and the only prescription is to be unconditionally loved and reassured. They literally are fighting their demons. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
Switching sides.
They're creepy and they're kooky, they're all together ooky, the Addo family. You think you've read it all, and then you'll hear about a manga where a girl is a former delinquent working with the police to help her mom who fights crime with a metal yo-yo. And there you have it. The 100 shoujo manga series that you have to read before you can get into Dandadan. Sorry guys, I don't make the rules. I mean, the reason why I haven't watched Dandadan yet either is because there's a handful on this list that I haven't gotten around to still. So don't ask me if I've even seen Dandadan yet. I can't. I practice what I preach. Seriously though, while this video is just for fun, I do hope you guys will seriously consider engaging in shoujo and josei more outside of just using it as a prop for your favorite male-created series. I say it all the time, but it's a very special and cool thing that comics made for girls is a thing in Japan. Not many places have that, and the fact that it's still so ostracized means that we still have a long way to go to change our mindsets. As a shoujo editor from Mystery Bonita put it, erasing the labels will only homogenize the categories and leave whatever sells the best left. You know what that would mean? Shonen. So before you can say that we should erase the labels, you also need to put in the work to make them equal. Read things that look feminine. Read things that have female characters or perspectives. Read shoujo. And you can even buy merch to commit yourself to that. That's right, baby, we have merch now. Show off your shoujo pride and let everyone know that you are a shoujo connoisseur and that they should be reading shoujo. You can be just as fashionable as me. Look at all these fashionable people wearing beautiful merch. If you would like to snag one of these beautiful pieces yourself, you can go to colleensmangarex.fourthwall.com and get yourself a hat, a hoodie. Let everyone know you're a toxic shoujo fan. Plus, so many more things, so head on over to colleensmangarex.fourthwall.com for some good-ass merch, if I do say so myself.